Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode here in NHL 21. So in last episode, we had the draft and re-sign stage, and our team is looking decent going into next season, I think. And we are going to try and pick up a new head coach for this upcoming season, and we offered a contract already to that coach, and that was Nora Waite, who's won 2 Jack Adams so far in her career. She's coached only for 4 years. And yeah, she would probably fit our team pretty good. She had like 61% team fit. And yeah, I'm really hoping that we could get her because she's good with veterans. And a lot of this team is veteran heavy. So I think she would be perfect for this team. And yeah, anyways, we might sign one free agent in this episode. But right now our roster looks pretty good. I don't really know if I want to sign somebody because I feel like Savonen's still good enough to be like technically our second liner. But he's probably going to start declining is the only problem. And we need somebody that actually could take over that spot if Savonin declines, or not declines, but drops in overall. Technically, I guess declines, but so yeah, I think we'll probably still pick up a left winger to bolster this team a little bit more. But right now, I think our team is definitely getting back to maybe being a playoff team within the next few seasons, maybe even this season. And our defensive core looks pretty good too. Goalie wise, looks pretty solid. Rohan House might drop off a lot, which is a bit concerning as a backup goalie. But I would rather him retire with the club than pick up probably another good backup goalie. So, anyways, let's make our free agent signing and pick up another forward. And then I think we'll probably already sim up to next season and stuff like that and see if we get like that coach and see how our lines look. And we'll start simulating a little bit, or halfway through the season at least. So let's go to left wingers. So the guy I was looking at was Benoit. I think that's the one I'm going to do, is just give him a 1-year deal. Even if he's asking a lot of money, he might be the best option available. He scored 29 goals in Montreal. He doesn't look like he's that great of a goal scorer. I mean, he's scoring as much as he's assisting. He's got pretty good shooting attributes. Apparently he used to fit our top line. I don't know if he still will, but when we get a new head coach. But he's a veteran. We're getting a veteran coach, so he might be able to. I was also thinking maybe we could bring back DeKaiser. He actually does score a lot more goals, and he had just had 39 goals at 35. You know what? I think, actually, do I want to go with DeKaiser again, or do I want to go with Benoit? Benoit is very expensive. DeKaiser's respectable. You know what? We're going to bring back another player again, Amir DeKaiser. I think DeKaiser would be the better goal scorer out of the two of them. I think. I mean, just take a look at the shooting categories. 90, 89, 90, 89. DeKaiser, 94, 87, 94, 88. So not as much power, but better accuracy, I think, is what it is. Yeah. Wait, let me take a look at the shooting thing. 5 stars, and 5 stars probably. 4.5. So yeah, I think we're going to go for DeKaiser. He's a better shooter. We need more offense. And bringing back a former player of ours, as always, would be nice. Just give him a 1-year deal at $10 million to retire with this team, potentially. And also that will help us out offensively and maybe get into the playoffs because, like I said, I don't really trust that Savonen's going to stay in 81 the entire season. And if that happens, Savonen might have to get dropped to a third-line role, and then DeKaiser gets jumped up into the top 6 instead. So we're going to sign DeKaiser, and that's going to be our only free agent signing. So let's advance a few days, see if we get... Actually, wait a second. We got Nora Waite, so we got a head coach. Really happy to get her as our head coach. There was actually one thing I wanted to do, which was take a look at the scouts, because Philippe Guérin retired in last episode and with the Washington Capitals, and he became a scout. I just don't know if Washington signed him. So if we go to, let's just sort out by alphabetical. I want to see if he's a free agent scout, because if he is, we could bring him in as a scout for fun. And he is, I think. Is that Philippe Guérin? Yeah, that is. Okay. He's actually not a bad OHL scout. Yeah, I probably would bring him in to sign, be for the OHL. So, Philippe Guérin, we're going to sign you up as a scout. Just because I would love to have you back in the organization. And if he does accept, that would be the first time I've ever brought back a former player of ours as a scout. So hopefully that happens. Let's advance a few more days. We do get also Chloe Beaufait for our head coach in the AHL. So we do have 2 female head coaches, which is pretty awesome. Gotta love that. And Philippe Guérin is accepted as or not an AHL, what the heck, a scout. He says, I'm very happy with the offer you sent me, and I can't wait to join the franchise. Well, you've been with the franchise before. Now you're going to be, like, scouting out players that play with, like, your former teammates, which is kind of interesting. Let's just make sure he's assigned to the right area. And that would be pretty much that. Just make sure he's assigned to where... He is assigned to NHL Central. I would rather him be assigned somewhere else. So, how do I assign scouts again? I can't assign them right now during the off season, I guess. I'll have to wait till the start of the season. So I'm going to make a jump cut to the upcoming season with our edited lines, and then we will simulate probably 41 games and see how we do throughout the first half. So I will see you guys in a second. Actually, I forgot Amir de Kaiser accepted. I don't know why I keep forgetting about this, but I thought he already accepted, but I will see you guys in a second. Okay, guys, so our lineup looks pretty good, I would say, right now, at least during the preseason. The only thing is our penalty kill really doesn't have the greatest chemistry, but I think our lineup looks really good. We got Dingman, Matthews, Dika, so a good line that we had last year together. Dingman and Dika could score goals. Matthews could make really good. Second line wise, De Kaiser coming back to our lineup is great. He's going to add some great secondary scoring, and then Belanger and Garrison. Third line, Reardon is going to be up to the third line, which is great to see him getting some development. He's going to be playing with Phil Powell, who's a good veteran for him to learn off of. And then also Kari Savonen. So we have really good tertiary scoring, I would say, for the first 3 lines, because Dika, De Kaiser, and Savonen could all score decently. So should be pretty good there. And then fourth line, Seal Fido might be way too good for this fourth line, but we have to do something like that. He's going to be on the first line PK, though, so that should help. And then we also have Schumacher, and Alexandrov has to get down to the fourth line as well. But I think our forward core looks pretty good, and I think we will simulate decently. Defensively, we got Samson and Hardakainen still, Rodriguez and Big still, and Stapleton and Lilia. So I think our team looks pretty good on paper. And goalie-wise, Stevenson and Rohan House has dropped down to a 78, but he is still going to be our backup. And depth-wise, we got Sandlak, Visnovsky's going to be depth again. We could always throw him into the lineup if need be, but for now he's in the scratched area. And Joel Orr is our depth defenseman, but I think our team looks a lot better with the new head coach that we got in Nora Waite. And in AHL-wise, our team has some chemistry problems, but we are getting development from guys like Matt Gustafsson, who's up to a 76 now, which is great to see. He actually had a pretty solid first season in the AHL, so yeah, that's pretty great. And yeah, this team actually might make the playoffs, the NHL team. I'm not sure about the AHL team, but good to see a lot of our prospects getting some development. I am going to take out Mark Ward in the AHL, even though he's a 76, because we got to get that medium elite goalie in as well. So there we go. And yeah, let's start up the season simulation and see how we do. Also, I want to note first, as on our power play, Savonen's going to be playing top line PK or power play time because he could score goals. So I'm hoping that he can continue to do what he did last year, because last year he was like unreal at 38 years old. So if he could be really good at 39, that'd be pretty awesome. Because if we go to the record book currently, and look at NHL, and we look at most goals all time, Kari Savonen is second all time, only behind Alex Ovechkin by only 56 goals. So if Kari Savonen could have like a 60-goal season or a season like last year, he might pass Alex Ovechkin for most all-time goals. So, and then also most 50-goal seasons, Kari Savonen is tied with Gretzky, Bossy, and just behind Ovechkin in terms of that. So pretty crazy. Kukinen's already up there as well for Buffalo, which is nuts because that guy's only like 32. So that guy's probably going to become one of the best goal scorers of all time if this franchise was to go longer than 25 years. But anyways, that's that. Let's start simulating the season and see how we do. Like, I think our team should be a playoff team, but I'm not 100% sure. I just hope that we don't suffer too much drop-off from guys like De Kaiser, who we just signed, and Savonen. Based on the owner goals, they want us to make round 3 of the playoffs. So based on that, we should be a playoff team. I really hope we should be a playoff team at this rate. Because if we can make the playoffs for like for the rest of the last few seasons, that would be great. If we could win a Stanley Cup by the end of it again, that would be awesome. Because I've only won 1 Stanley Cup, which, yeah, that kind of is not great. So let's see. Preseason wise, looks like we might go undefeated, which is not necessarily a good sign. Yep, we're gonna go undefeated in the preseason, 7-0. Usually when you have a great preseason, though, you don't have a great regular season, so I hope that is not the case for us. But, yeah, I think this team is going to be really good. Just like the depth scoring of adding DeKaiser, I think that's going to help us out. And we also have a lot of cap space still, technically, too. If we wanted to make trades, we do have, like, low top 6 forwards we could deal away to get some, like, players into our roster. And we also have, I think, how much cap space? Yeah, we have $15 million. So we've been managing our cap really well, and our team is in a good spot to actually make the playoffs, I think, too. As long as we don't have really any morale crises, which Stapleton might complain because he usually complains, but hopefully not too much if he does. So are we still listed as a champion team, or not champion team, contending team? Yes, we are, okay. And let me just make sure those owner goals are the same. They probably are because they didn't change, I don't think. Yeah, we still want to make round 3 of the playoffs, apparently. So we'll see if this team is a playoff team. That would be really awesome if we are a playoff team this year. So let's start simulating. We'll do 1 month at a time, but we will do 41 games just because I like to always go to the halfway point. So that way we can kind of see where we're sitting for the next half of the season. So let's do 1 month at a time and go to November the 1st. And we start off with a win, then a loss. Okay. There's another loss. There's a win, a loss. A little bit of a slow start, but I mean, we are still winning games. And Demetrius Rodriguez gets a concussion early in the season, but at least it's not long term, because that would not be a good way to start it off. Couple losses in a row, and game against Minnesota after Rodriguez is thrown back in. So at least Joel Orr seems to fit our system decently. But I think this new head coach should help us out a lot. 5-3-3 on the season, that's pretty good. We're in a playoff spot. Kari Savonen's got 7 goals in 11 games. This guy is unreal. I really wish I would have drafted this guy early in this franchise mode, but instead he went to St. Louis. I don't even remember if I had a pick that close to Kari Savonen's or not. But this guy is unreal. Imagine being 39 years old and still scoring almost a goal per game. Kind of like Ovechkin would probably be doing in real life, but holy. This guy might end up passing Ovechkin and being the best all-time goal scorer in this franchise mode, which would be nuts because he's already got over 900 career goals. So interesting. Good start to the season. Let's continue to simulate. Hopefully we can win a little bit more games this upcoming month because it was a little bit of a slow start, I would say, because of the amount of regulation losses and OT losses. But hopefully we could just have a really good month in November here. Come on, boys. There's another win. But I think, like I said, we have really good tertiary scoring, and that's going to help us out a little bit. Because, yeah, our like Dika's going to score at least 20-something. DeKaiser should score 20-something. And then Savonen should definitely. But we are kind of off to a little bit of a rocky start still. But we might have a really good second half of the season in this case. Who knows? 12-8-5 at December the 1st. Not phenomenal, but we are in a wild card spot. And most guys are almost point per game. Well, actually, Matthews is almost point per game. So it seems like our offense is not phenomenal yet, but who knows, maybe just scoring's down in the NHL. The New Jersey Devils are off to a really good start, which is crazy because they were really bad in this franchise mode for quite a few years. So they might end up being a team that goes on to win a cup again soon. I don't think I'm going to make any line adjustments. Let me just take a look at the plus-minus across our entire lineup. -5. So the top line has actually been terrible defensively. Might be our penalty kill that's dragging us down because our penalty kill, like I said, has bad chemistry. I want to keep Stapleton there because if I don't, he's going to complain. Yeah, it's probably our penalty killers. So in that case, I will try and put in somebody else like Phil Powell maybe. What do I want to do to get this PK unit fixed? Take Dingman out. Maybe put in Boulanger on the penalty kill. That doesn't work. Oh man, this isn't good. Maybe I should. Okay, that he fits that unit. That's good. The only one that doesn't is Stapleton, really. But there's not really anywhere I could slot in any of these guys. I might have to just deal with our penalty kill being bad, which is not good. That might be the one downfall of our team. I mean, I could throw in Wisnowski, who is apparently losing morale because of ice time. But I would have to take out somebody like Schumacher, which I'm not doing because Schumacher's a good goal scorer. He's off actually to a slow start though this year, but I'm gonna keep him in though. And Savonin has really slowed down in terms of scoring goals. He had 7 goals in 11 games, and now he's down to 9 goals in 25. So he probably won't catch Ovechkin, but he's an AHL top 6 forward now. 940 goals. I think I'll just leave the lineup the same. I don't really want to play with too much of that, because I think we've been still a decent team. It's just more about our penalty kill. I don't know if we could trade for somebody that could help out our penalty kill or what, but we'll have to figure that out at the deadline maybe, because maybe that's something we want to do. Let's go to January the 1st, and then we'll see how much more games we got to simulate before we'll be at halfway to this point of the season. We're kind of still struggling a bit. I don't know what the case is, if it's just that penalty kill. But there's 3 straight wins, there's a loss, there's another win. Okay, now we're starting to win games. That's what I like to see. Like I said, we might just have a really good second half of the season, but we do lose 2 games there. 19, 13, and 7. Where does it have this? In a wild card spot with 45 points, which is almost 10 points up on the Canadiens already, so that's good news. And also getting close to 10 points up on the Hurricanes, who are also out of a playoff spot. So it looks like the Metropolitans a lot weaker, though, than our division. So that is good. How much games did we play? We played 39, so let's get the next 2 games done, so we'll be right at the halfway point of the year. And then we'll take a look at our player stats and all that so far. And we're going to win both of those games. So we're now at 21, 13, and 7. And we are now at 49 points. So we're 9 points up on the Canadiens with the same amount of games played. And we're 10 points up on the Hurricanes. So there's a good chance we make the playoffs. At least right now. Unless we fall off like we did last year, which would not be good. We're 7-2-1 in our last 10 as well, which means we're trending in the right direction too. So let's take a look at our player stats so far and our team stats just to see what's been going wrong for us. I'm assuming it's our penalty kill dragging us down a little bit. So Matthews is almost point per game, 37 points in 41 games. Belanger has been good, 24 points in 41 games. Pau, 22 points. Schumacher, 12 points. Not too bad from our centers. Only minus ones are Matthews and Belanger, but both of them have been playing on the penalty kill a little bit. Matthews already has 4 game-winning goals, apparently. Left wing wise, DeKaiser 30 points in 41 games. Glad I brought back Amir DeKaiser. Like I said, he was a good goal scorer in his career, so it's good to always bring back somebody like that just for some secondary scoring. Because, like, yeah, Savonin did slow down a lot this year. He's only on pace for 30 goals this year, but it's good to bring in always like some depth scoring. So we have like 3 lines that can score goals. Like all 3 of these guys are at like almost 15 goals. So that's good on the left wing front. And then Garrison is not having as strong of a year as last year. He was over point per game last year, but still not too bad. Dingman's pretty good, 28 points, but a minus 12 because of the penalty kill. Reardon 22 points, loving that from a rookie who is in his second season now. He's definitely on pace to beat what he had last year. Definitely a pure playmaker, but still really good. Sealfido 19 points, Alexandrov 17 points, pretty good. Defensively, Biggs 17 points, so good year so far for Marcos Biggs. Hardikainen's got 14, Stapleton's got 10, Lily's got 9, Samson 4, Rodriguez 3, and nothing from Orr. And goalie-wise, Stevenson's off to a terrible start. Wow. I was not expecting that. And Rohan House is off to a fabulous start as a backup, but Stevenson's really struggled. So maybe we're not a good defensive team. I mean, he's got a winning record, but an .896 save percentage and a 3.16 isn't that great. But Rohan House, 3-0-2 with a 922 and a 209, even though he's a 78. Interesting. If we get to the playoffs, maybe we want to run with Rohan House, because that would be pretty interesting. Let's take a look at team stats across the league just to see where we're sitting and how we're playing. So right now we're 10th best team in the entire NHL. In terms of goals for per game, we're actually not that great of an offensive team. We're actually one of the worst. We're like in a little bit below mid-table. Goals against per game, we're also around mid-table, looks like. Yeah, so we're kind of average of a team, which kind of makes sense, but our power play has not been that great. Our penalty kill has not been that great, so we might be a little bit over-simulating. Or we're maybe just getting completely lucky, because if we're not doing that good in all of these categories, yeah, we have a record of 21, 13, and 7. That's kind of weird. I don't know why we have such a good record if we're not that good in all those categories. I really hope it stays like that, though, and we don't drop off in the second half like we did last year, because that could happen. But that's that. Let's take a look at... Let's take a look at the trading block just to see what's out there. Not that I'm going to be making trades for next episode, but just to see if there's somebody that can maybe help out our penalty kill. Because maybe we want to bring somebody in and get rid of somebody like Alexandrov. This guy fits our bottom 6, but that's it. I want to just find somebody that could help out our PK, but we'd have to get rid of a roster player off our team, which means it would probably be somebody like Alexandrov or Cielfido, somebody on that bottom 6, but I don't really want to part away with any of those guys. Like, it just, I don't know. I don't really want to move them out. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot right now. Graps, 4th line only. I would more want somebody that actually fits our 4th line and PK, but that's going to be tough to find. Bottom 6 forward lines, but probably not penalty kill lines. Because if we get somebody that fits our PK, then our penalty kill could improve. But maybe that's the problem with the head coach that we currently have, is she's just not a good penalty killing coach. Like, she's good with veterans, but Wells fits our top line, but obviously we wouldn't be able to slot him in anywhere. Andrews does fit our penalty kill and our first line, apparently. I mean, he's signed for 2 years is the only problem, but he does fit our penalty killing unit. He has had some pretty good seasons in the last few years, but he's getting less ice time, I guess, maybe in Minnesota. I don't know where I would slot him in, though. He does fit our 3rd line, but he would probably be more on our 4th line. And I don't know if he fits our 4th line that well. And he'd probably be on our penalty kill, but 5.68, it's not terrible. If we were to trade for somebody like Andrews, we'd have to probably definitely give up like Alexandrov at least. Yeah, definitely even more than that. Actually, Andrews is very expensive. I didn't realize his trade value was that high, so we wouldn't probably be able to trade for somebody like him. But you never know. Like, if I went to find trade, what would they want for Andrews if they actually even counter? I don't know why Andrews' value is that high. Maybe because he's having a good season. Yeah, I don't really know what we could bring into this team. I don't really think we need to necessarily make trades, because maybe all our stats being bad is a good thing, and maybe we're simulating good is a good thing as well. Maybe we're just going to be a cheese team again, and maybe simulate well in the playoffs. I don't know. It's really tough to tell how good of our second half of the season is going to be, just because last season we were like really good around this stage as well, and then we just dropped off a cliff. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode. So in next episode, we will simulate the next half of the season and see if we actually make the playoffs. We might make trades if we think they're necessary, but for right now, it looks like this team might end up somehow getting into the playoffs. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.